Hello, my name is Shannon Hagen. Welcome to the ETEC 590 artifact, my Eportfolio. This site is a culmination of the learning journey that occurred through the Masters of Educational Technology, or MET program, offered by the University of British Columbia. It is the capstone project that reflects my learning as well as meets the Category 6 Teacher Qualification Service requirements for the British Columbia Ministry of Education. It is purposely designed to allow me to reflect on my intellectual and affective development by connecting MET digital artifacts with the transformational learning that has occurred in addition to sharing my mastery of knowledge through the application of it in my pedagogical practices. Although the ultimate viewers of the sites will be the professors and evaluators of the MET graduating project, I also intend for this site to be viewed by my colleagues, peers of the MET program, family, and members of the public who might be thinking of completing the MET journey. Additionally, I have created this site so that it is a repository of my 2.5 years of the experience I gained, so I can not only revisit it on a regular basis, but continue to revise it as I integrate this wisdom with practice. As a way to link my courses and artifacts, I am using the metaphor of the filmmaking process. Like the MET program for me, creating a film follows a step-by-step process, but at the same time is very iterative. The incorporation of the metaphor is clearly explained on the metaphor page and is revealed utilizing each stage in this process, grouping the MET courses under each stage. Each course itself then incorporates specific artifacts that represent the type of learning that occurred at that specific stage, in addition to a reflection which describes how it relates to the theme and how it has been influential in my learning journey. In terms of navigation, I've created a home page that describes the purpose of the ePortfolio, contains some information about myself, and informs the viewer of the intended audience. I have included my goals and objectives page at the beginning of the site itself under the prologue heading to provide a framework for the ePortfolio itself. At the bottom of this page, I've created a table that visually connects all the artifacts for each course to the goals they characterize. These 3 goals and objectives were realized through the completion of each artifact and allowed me to view my overall learning through these 3 lenses. My philosophy of education is located here as well to demonstrate the transformation that has occurred over the 24 years that I have been teaching. I imagine this is a dynamic document that will need to be revisited as I implement more of the frameworks I've acquired through the MET program. A more in-depth explanation of my metaphor itself can also be viewed under the prologue menu, including my personal connection and how it relates to my learning journey. The next 4 main menu headings display the 4 stages of the filmmaking process, starting with pre-production, production, post-production, and ending with distribution. Under each main heading are subheadings depicting the courses that represent the type of knowledge that was acquired during this stage of filmmaking. The main filmmaking pages provide a further account of the connection that is occurring between the filmmaking process to the specific courses that are nested within each of the stages. For example, by clicking on the pre-production link, you will be presented with an explanation of how the core courses within the MET program provide fundamentals such as the theoretical frameworks and how scaffolding is used to support the learner to reach the next stage. Icons are provided for the viewer to click to visit each course from the main page, in addition to the drop-down menu. Navigational buttons are also provided to visit the previous, next, and in some cases, specific course pages. Once the course page opens, I reflect on what specifically this course offered me to further my transformation and how the selection of the artifacts represent the metaphor. Each artifact is accompanied by a descriptive narrative, an in-depth reflection of how it promoted further scholarship, and concludes with a brief statement asserting the specific MET goals that have been incorporated into the project. Each stage of the filmmaking process is designed in this manner. However, there is a diverse selection of the artifacts to represent my transformative learning journey. You will be able to access research papers, a few of the many websites I co-created, samples from discussion forums, personal learning reflections, and a variety of media productions representing some very diverse subject matter such as coding in the 21st century, my business venture pitch, and even a gamification site. You will be able to see firsthand the improvement in my researching abilities, theoretical perception, and technology competencies. Just as there are critics with the release of any film who provide their opinion of the film, there is the need for feedback in the form of assessment in the educational realm. I have chosen to do this in the form of a Google survey, allowing my viewers to rate me on a scale of 1 to 4. 1 indicates the description is insufficiently representing, while 4 represents proficiency. This feedback will be delivered to me as a separate spreadsheet where I will be able to view the compilation of all the responses. My future direction page illustrates my next steps from 3 different viewpoints: personally, as a professional educator, and as a facilitator of educational technology knowledge. I connect how I will incorporate my transformational learning experience into future ventures. I also provide specific examples of how I will continue to be a lifelong learner in every aspect of my life. Finally, I have chosen to list the resources cited within each artifact page at the bottom of this page, reserving the reference section at the end of the site for some references that have been a source of inspiration through my MET journey. The creation of this e-portfolio reflected the iterative process of filmmaking. From the selection of artifacts to the reflection pieces, it has gone through many drafts incorporating feedback received from the collaborative discussion forum, formal peer reviews, in addition to specific recommendations provided by the instructor. What you are viewing now is my final draft, ready for public consumption. Thank you and enjoy.